recipe is for Jamie Oliver's Super Green Spaghetti, and I'm going to start off with a pot of boiling water here, and 5 ounces of spaghetti is going to go into the pot, and I want to make sure to season the water with at least a teaspoon of salt and mix up all that pasta. As the pasta cooks, I'm just going to prep my kale and spinach, which is going to make it green. So the recipe calls for 7 ounces of Tuscan kale, which I'll show you what that looks like. That's this kale. It's also sometimes called dinosaur kale or lacinato kale. I didn't have all of that, so I also had some baby kale and some baby spinach that I'm adding to it. So 7 ounces of this was cleaned. 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese, which looks like about a 1/4 cup, and also about a 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese that's going to go on top, and 4 cloves of garlic, in addition to some extra virgin olive oil and salt and pepper. So this is going to cook according to package directions. My package directions are calling for 11 minutes. This recipe is going to ask for reserved pasta cooking water, and just in case you forget to do that, I always put the glass measuring cup that I'm going to be using over by the sink, by the colander, so that I make sure that I don't pour it all out. And it is also going to call for a blender. I often don't use a blender. Instead of using a blender, I use an immersion blender. So this will just get plugged in, and basically what's going to happen is after this cooks, the kale and the garlic is going to go in. We're going to remove that, and we're going to blend it up and make the sauce. So I'm going to be putting this into here instead of putting this into a blender. I have about 5 minutes left on my pasta, so now I'm going to add in my greens and my garlic to my pasta water. And for any bigger leaves of the kale, not the baby kale, you can just remove the tough stem. Okay, so my greens are going to go in. And I'm going to leave my bowl here, because I'm going to need that. And my 4 cloves of peeled garlic are also going in. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. My spaghetti has about a minute left, and I have the colander set over the bowl that I'm going to be putting the kale into, and I'm just going to try to separate the spaghetti and the kale, but if some gets in here, I'm going to be pulling it out. I needed that 1 cup of pasta cooking liquid, so I just have a ladle here, and I'm just going to measure out that 1 cup, make sure I don't drain that. So here I have my drained kale and garlic, and I'm just going to transfer this to a smaller bowl. And the recipe asks you to do this in a blender, but like I said, I'm going to be using the immersion blender. And I'm going to need some extra virgin olive oil, about a tablespoon or so. I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese and a little bit of that pasta cooking liquid. The Parmesan cheese smells amazing. And that garlic is going to be less pungent, even though it's pureed in here, because it was blanched. So now I'm going to mix in the pasta. And this is where the pasta cooking water is going to come in, because we're going to want to loosen it up. Kind of looks like a pesto. I'm going to do a little bit of black pepper. Okay, and I'm just going to use this meat fork to twirl the spaghetti.